What does off-market mean in real estate? You've probably heard the phrase off-market deals, but what does that really mean? The best deals don't usually ever even hit the MLS. In this video, I'm going to explain exactly what off-market really means and why it matters so much. I'm going to show you how we find off-market deals that other people never even see. By the end of this video, you're going to understand why off-market deals are so powerful and how you can start finding them yourself. Okay, so off-market means just that. It's not on the public market, meaning it has not been listed by a realtor, so it's not on the MLS, it's not on Zillow, and it's not been marketed in mass quantity to anybody else. Matter of fact, at this moment, no one knows about it except for maybe a few neighbors, maybe the seller's family, and maybe they put a sign in the yard, but usually not. So it's an off-market deal that no one even knows about. If you've ever been an investor, then you know that anytime a great deal hits the market, it disappears in seconds because everybody wants to be a real estate investor nowadays. If you focus on the open market, you're going to drive yourself crazy because you will not win a bid. There's so many people bidding, that's not where the deals are found. I think that looking for a deal on the open market is like trying to find a fish in the forest. They really don't exist anymore. So it's important that you focus on these off-market deals. I'm going to take it a step further. You don't just want off-market deals, you want off-market motivated seller deals. These are people that have gotten themselves into a situation, either voluntarily or involuntarily, that they have to get rid of the house, get their equity out of the house, and move on with their lives. They are a motivated seller. So when you find a motivated off-market seller, if you can turn that into cash, those deals are gold and well worth your time. So why are so many flippers talking about and they want to go after these off-market deals? Number one, like I just said, there's less competition. If it's on the open market, you're competing with everybody who wants to become a flipper or a real estate investor or someone that wants to buy the house. When it's off market, you don't have nearly as much competition. Usually you're going to be able to have more equity in the property because if you take my advice and you go after motivated sellers, they have to sell now and they don't care about getting the most they can out of the house. They also many times are embarrassed at the condition of their house or the condition of their circumstances. They're embarrassed of why they're in the spot that they're into. They don't want to make it public. They don't want to have a for sale sign in the yard. They don't want their neighbors to know. They just want to get out of the house and move away. That provides opportunity for you and I as investors to, number one, help them get out of a tough situation, and number two, get some equity and some cash for ourselves. We can get them out of a tough spot. We can flip that house, turn it into a great new home for someone else to start their dreams and family all over again, and we can make a profit in the process. It's a win-win-win. So where do you find off-market deals? That's the big question. Now look, when you get bigger in a company like we do, my wife and I have flipped over 1,200 houses, and we still flip over 100 houses a year. Now I'll tell you that we live on the beach in Florida, and our business operates in upstate New York, so we've built an incredible system that works without us. Now, we spend around $50,000 or $60,000 a month in marketing. We spend it on TV ads, radio ads, direct mail, and many other advertising sources that are online like PPC and SEO and stuff I don't even know what it means half the time. But we have a full advertising budget. Now, that takes time to get there. So how do you start when you're small to find off-market deals? The simplest ones are when you can find sellers directly by driving for dollars. That costs you nothing. It's a great way to look for homes that are vacant. That's homes that you see there's mail piling up in the mailbox. If it's the winter time and you're in the north, well, there's snow that's not being plowed. Maybe the lawn's not being mowed in the summertime, and you can tell that house is vacant. That's direct to seller. If you can just talk to the neighbors, that's a great way to find. That's how we found a lot of our early deals, were just by talking to neighbors and figuring out why that house is vacant and who I could talk to find that deal. Remember, it's not in the public market, so maybe just a handful of people, or maybe just you are the only one talking to them about buying their house. That's how you find off-market motivated sellers. You can go to wholesalers. Now, if you don't know what the term wholesaling means, that's people that find off-market deals, negotiate them, and sell them to you for a profit. Now, they make a $10,000, $15,000 profit on that deal, but they spent the money and time to go find the deal. As long as you can still make money on the deal, don't not buy from a wholesaler because they're making money. Now we wholesale about 70 houses a year. And I laugh because every now and again someone says, I'm not buying the house because you're making money on it. Well then don't. I'll sell it to somebody else. I don't care. So remember, just because somebody else took the time and the money to find that deal doesn't give you the right to back out of the deal. So don't cut off your nose to spite your face. If you find a deal and the numbers work for you from a wholesaler, by all means buy it. It's still an off-market deal. They just beat you to it, but if you can build that relationship, they'll bring you deals on a regular basis. Certainly you can talk to real estate agents. We have a great program for real estate agents called our triple commissions for agents. And then what that means basically is that if you bring a deal to me and I buy it, you can keep the commission from the seller. You can actually, I'll fix the house and let you be my listing agent and sell it for me while you get a second commission. I'm gonna pay you a $2,000 finder's fee on top of that. You say, Glenn, why would you pay him $2,000 on top? Because I want them thinking about me, nobody else, when they see an off-market deal. And if I'm paying them another $2,000 to make $50,000 or more, you can bet they're going to think about calling me directly. And I say you can also get paid a fourth way. If you go out and find the end buyer, you can get paid from them too. You can pay 4 ways. Other investors, you might get paid 1 or 2 ways. Me, you get paid up to 4 ways. Who do you want to bring your deal to, right? So set up those kind of referrals. You know, one that I do a lot, that I did in the early days that really worked? My mail carrier. My mail lady was very instrumental in bringing my very first 2 deals. I said, look, I am looking for something in this area. Here's the size house I want. Here's what I'm looking for. I'm going to talk to you about that in just a minute. I said, but if you see something like this, will you please let me know? Within 3 weeks, she came to me and said, there's a house up the street. I literally ran up the street, met an older couple in their late 70s trying to put a countertop in the summertime with no air conditioning. They were miserable. And I said, would you be open to selling your house? And she said, absolutely. And we bought that house within a week, made a $17,000 profit. And it wasn't the money, because $17,000 was not a lot of money for a flip. But it proved to me that we could do it. And I could go find off-market deals and that they were out there even though the market was hot. You can market yourself around town. Do you have local shops where people hang out, little seats where they may have ice cream or coffee shops? Put on a flyer saying, we buy houses. You'd be amazed at how well they work. You know what else you can do that costs a little bit of money? It's kind of a pain, but bandit signs. Those we buy houses signs you see all around town when you pull up to a street sign, you know what they are? Those are usually wholesalers and investors looking for off-market deals. People call them because they don't want to call a realtor. So these things do work, but you have to work them and you have to have a system to keep the phone ringing to you on a regular basis. If you just do it one time and it doesn't work for you, it doesn't mean that it doesn't work, it means that you don't work. So it's really important that you consistently put that effort out there. When you put consistent effort, you'll start to get consistent return on your efforts. And that's what you want, is the phone to ring on a regular basis with off-market deals so you can cherry pick the best ones, right? So off-market deals are great, but only if they meet your criteria. I mentioned before I was going to share something with you, and that is your buy box. Look, I knew what I was looking for when I very first started as a real estate investor. When I talked to my mail carrier, I said, hey, I'm looking for a house in this area with this specifics. If I have these things, I'm confident I can make a profit on this deal. So if you see one that looks just like this, can you bring it to me? Because she knew what she was looking for my buy box. She could see it clearly. Even though she sees hundreds of houses a day in the neighborhood, she knew what I was looking for because I was specific about my buy box. If you want to learn about your buy box and how to make sure that people know how to bring you referrals for your buy box and you can see clearly your own buy box, I put together a training right here. Click in the description below on the link and go check out my training so you can learn what your buy box is, so you can buy the best house for you at the highest profit and the least amount of risk, and cut out all the other noise and just focus on the best deals for yourself. Go check it out right now.